Hello and welcome to Deliberately Creative. I'm Stephanie, and this time we are doing sapphires. I know we've already done the star sapphire, but this is a little bit different. This is an actual faceted look sapphire. It is not a detailed faceted sapphire though. It's basically just the next step up from the basic doodle gems that we've been doing. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to get started today on this sapphire gem, and it's a very limited color palette. I'm using Prismacolors today. I have the light cerulean blue, white, the indigo blue, and there might be a touch of black. I don't usually do black in my stones, but there might be a little bit of black in there. I'm not sure. Oh, and I may grab the colorless blender also. So we're going to get started here. Make sure I'm lined up for you. We're not doing a really big one today. This is going to be a quick video because I wanted to make sure that our community member who had requested the sapphire to honor her grandson who has passed in a freak accident just recently, so that she would have the step-by-step on how I did the sapphire that I put a picture of up. It is a very basic sapphire. There's not much to it, really. This one is much more along the lines of a standard doodle gem, tangled gem, clear gem that has transparency to it. But it's going to have a little bit of an indication of faceting. It's not going to be a truly faceted stone. We're not going to go in and do all of that intricate deep coloring that comes up with making a true gem, faceted gem. But starting off here, I'm just putting a coat of this light cerulean blue, just shading it in just a little bit here. There we go. So let's see. We're getting some of this light cerulean blue in here. And now I'm going to take the indigo blue, and it's going to go around one edge and darken this side quite a bit. Sapphires are a beautiful gemstone. They come in so many colors. Blue is the most common color, a deep kind of dark blue with a brilliance to it. That tends to be what most people think of when they think of sapphires. It's the second hardest stone or gem in the world, just after diamonds. There's this scale of hardness that they have, and sapphires are 9 on that scale of 1 to 10. Diamonds are higher. I want to feather that edge in just a little bit. And sapphires can come in so many colors. You can have green sapphires and yellow sapphires and pink and purple and the blue, of course. And rubies are actually just red sapphires. They are a red corundum. And I think I knew that, but it's one of those things that you think you know it, but you're not sure you knew it. And when you read it, you're like, oh yeah, I knew that. But I am sort of following the shape of the stone. I'm basically just making a blue puddle. A blue puddle. So that it has light shining off of it. I'm going to go in here a little bit with the white and sort of blend out this bottom part with the white. And then I'll take the colorless blender to the top part. And I will go through in the description below and list the colors I would use if I were doing polychromos, and the colors that I would use if I were trying to do this with a box of Crayola. And remember, my box of Crayola is pretty big, so I still may list colors that you don't have if you're doing it in Crayola. But I will try very hard to make sure that it is, that the 3 brands of color pencils are listed. I'd had a request in the comments below on a different video if I would please try and remember to list the color equivalents for the three brands that I use most. I am going to take a small amount of black to this back edge here, not a lot, and I will use the colorless blender to sort of pull it in, and maybe around this edge here. Sorry, get my hand out of your way. And maybe just a touch underneath of that edge right there. That just really makes it pop up from the paper. I mean, I'm going to do a quick doodle around this gem when I'm done. And so you could stop right here, and this would be a cabochon sapphire. And they do make cabochon sapphires. So you could stop right here and have just a pretty sapphire stone. Or maybe put a little bit more of the blue, the darker blue down here. Just because. Just because. So sapphires are found all over the world, but gem quality sapphires are more rare. And they tend to find those in places like Sri Lanka and Burma. But there are some gem quality stones being mined in California and Montana too. All right, so that's good for that part. And now what we're going to do is I want to take my Signo Uniball pen, and basically I am going to wipe out some of this ink. I am just going to sketch. Let's see here. Right now that sketch just isn't going on. Let's get the pen flowing. There we are. These are sort of highlight lines that the faceting would be following. And I'm not going to do the whole stone. I'm not going to draw the entire star. Just sort of a little bit, and then I'm going to wipe out some of those lines so that it looks more like the light is just starting to catch on it. Just starting to catch on it in some spots. There we go. There we go. And now these can have faceting that would be squares set on. Your faceting could be squares like this. Your faceting can be triangles. Six-pointed triangle being the more common. And that's what this one is kind of indicating, a six-pointed triangle. Now that I've got those, my pens just went for a walk. Now that I've got those indication lines down, I'm going to take the light color blue, and I am actually going to put some of that inside of those triangles here and here. And then I'm going to take some white, because what the white does, the white is the reflections around it, the environmental reflections. And I will throw a little bit more of that highlight back on. But I'm trying to just give an indication, just a little indication of the highlight. And the way you make a highlight show up is you take dark around it. You give it a little bit more dark around the highlights. And that makes those highlights stand out more. There we go. See how that's making that pop up a little bit? I do want to throw just a little bit of dark in here. And maybe just a smidge of it down here. Not that I'm doing a lot, and not that it's really going to be seen by the time I'm done putting my white highlight back in. But it's kind of fun, and it just gives you just that little indication. And we're not, like I said, we're not trying to make this a deeply detailed faceted stone. It's just an indication. Now I want to throw a bit of this brighter color down here for a highlight. And I am going to strike this right here also. And let's see what we get. No, I don't like that. But I like that. Sometimes you have to put the ink on and then just tap it with your finger to sort of blend it out a little bit so that it's not quite so in your face. That's pretty much it for the stone, I think. Maybe a little touch of this darker blue around the edge, pressing a little bit harder. But not too much. I'm going to put a doodle around this after all. And I think that's where we are now. We are at the doodle. I'm going to zoom out just a smidge for you. You can hear my dog's nails clicking on the floor. I need to trim his nails. His nails are hard to trim. He is 16 years old almost, and he doesn't really like to sit still for a nail trimming anymore. He doesn't like to sit still for much. He'd rather be laying down sleeping. And my circle just went really wide, so I'm just going to bring this in next to it. And that will just end up as part of the feature of this doodle. It's actually going to blend right in. I'm doing these kind of little teardroppy shapes, that leaf shape that I like. And I'm just working it around the gem. Just around and around. Sort of fitting them in next to each other. Get that back up on the screen. And one more. Woohoo! There. See, now it just looks like it belonged there. Going around. Do. And I'm going to go ahead and do my little dot, dot, dash, dot, dot. And you can do anything around this gem. Any design. Yours do not end up having to look like mine. I love seeing all of the gems that people do. If you want to share, I have a page on Facebook that's deliberately creative that you can go and just click on like, and then you can post to the visitors post area. And let's see here. We are going to do some swirlies. I like the swirlies. I'm going to make them all go one direction and then come back and do the other direction. Just because that's how my brain is working today. You know, and at any point you can do whatever doodly design you like. Your gems, your settings. Have fun. There we go. Almost all the way around already. And now I'm going to come out of that same spot and I'm going to swirl and meet up with the other swirls. Just having fun, just making this a sweet doodle. Just a sweet little doodle. It's summertime here, and I have been traveling with my husband, and we're having such a lovely time. We got to go up to Canada and see a bunch of friends that we only see once a year. And that was a blast. Look at that. Pretty flower. And I think that I am going to do a little, let's see, do I want it in the middle here or do I want it at the top? Actually, I think what I'm going to do is put a little double petal on that, little widening around those leaves and giving them a little bit of a fill like this. I'm liking how this looks like a flower, so I think I'm going to keep it that way. And we are almost done. So I would like to ask you to click like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Share your artwork on social media. Share this video with people that you think might like it. The more it's shared, the more people can see what the artwork looks like, have fun with it, get out and enjoy it. Okay, guys, so if you look at this, I don't have consistent lines. I know people are worried about, oh, my lines wobble and they're not consistent and all of those things. I don't have consistent lines. I've got thin lines and thick lines. I've got wobbly lines. But when you're all done, it was done by your hand, and it looks like it was done by your hand. And it looks cohesive. It looks good when you're all done. Don't pick your art apart. Please, that's something that's really important to me. Don't pick your art apart. Look at it as a whole. Look at it as, wow, I finished something. Because that's the important part. That's the thing that I need you to take away from doing any of these doodle gems. It is not to have it look exactly like mine. It's to have it look exactly like yours. So please click on the like if you like this video. Share the video with your friends. Share your artwork on Facebook, on Instagram. Share it in Twitter. Go ahead and tweet about the video if you liked it. Share that. I love it. And as always, go out and do something creative. Take care.